Certain purchase
Till
till, and then it got ended, sir, about the Morepen purchase.
okay, right. Fine. All right. I'd been talking for 10 minutes. And then I was like, did you get it? And nobody responded. So I came back and I checked and I found that it got ended. All right, just a sec. Wait. Yes. Yeah, the board is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So students, after this Dr. Morepen, what I was saying is that Dr. Morepen's instrument is best. It is user friendly. And I was recommending that each one of you should buy this instrument. One. Second, you should learn how to prick and how to check sugar on routine basis. See, because these are certain skills along with your consulting. If you do it, okay, that will add more weightage to your professionalism. And learning how to prick and checking a sugar, it is not mandatory that only doctors or probably nurses can do it. Because in other cases, what we do is we teach it to the patient and to the relatives as well. So into whichever geographical distribution you are placed, into whichever country you are belonging to, I would suggest you that as a dietitian, you should learn this and you should keep this instrument in your clinic itself. So that's my first point. My second point was there is another blood report which is called as HbA1c. It is actually called as glycosylated hemoglobin. And this glycosylated hemoglobin, if the value is more than 6%, if the value is more than the upper limit, then it is considered to be diabetes. The best part of this report is this report gives me average sugar record of past 3 months of the patient. I was sharing with you that there are certain patients, they cheat onto doctors. I had a patient who used to come to me every 30 days, 45 days. But his funda was, his ideology was just 5 to 10 days prior to my appointment. He used to follow all the dietary norms. He used to exercise well. He used to take medicines on time. So when he used to come to the clinic, the sugar on examination was found to be normal. And the moment the visit is done, again he becomes liberal, free, starts eating here and there, starts eating sweets and defaults his medicines, cheats with his medicine. Then the family member calls up and says, doctor, he's been very haywire. And when he comes to you, a week before coming to you, he normalizes his activity, his diet, his medicine, so that the sugar is normal because he is scared that unnecessarily you will scold him. Then I'm like, acha, the patient is smart, so we have to be double smart. In that case, what we do is, in such cases where we doubt that sugar seems to be normal, but clinically the patient seems to be worsened up. So these are patients, they have some other complaint. They're like, doctor, I feel as if ants and insects are crawling over my upper extremity or over my lower extremity. That is a tingling and numbness coming up in body parts. Some patients are like, doctor, I got a wound in my lower leg. It is not healing. And I checked the sugar is normal. So under such cases, what I can do is either I can go for a specific report of one, but if in case I want a track record of past 3 months, then I will advise glycosylated hemoglobin test. This glycosylated hemoglobin test will measure the amount of glucose which is stuck to the RBC, that is to the red blood cells. And this value gives you a track record, average record of past 3 months. So let's say in the last month, the sugar was very high. Last to last month, it was less. And 3 months, it was average. So this report, it takes average of all 3 months and gives you a specific value. Compare it with the reference range, which is provided in the column besides. And if it is high, that means the patient on chronic basis is not for diabetic terms and conditions. Are we clear with this? Please reply, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. Okay. Any doubts?
I had a question. What do you do to patients who are very compliant? Like, how do you convince their psyche and mind to convince them to take their meds on time and regularly?
I'll tell you the the best way. Okay, see what happens is it is assume that most of the patient will be non-compliant. In front of it, they forget everything. I still remember my teacher was like, my senior teacher was like, he used to say everybody that you should not smoke, you should not smoke, you should not smoke. It causes lung cancer. It causes lung cancer. You should not smoke. Then what I found was when I was a junior, I found was there was one patient.
Excuse
Okay,
me,
my
doctor.
yeah.
Is in the waiting room.
Yeah. Good, 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 good. There we go. Okay. So, there was one patient that we so this patient, my senior doctor, okay, is a very, very, very gentle, very, very, very humble and very knowledgeable person. So very nicely he was guiding to the patient that you should not smoke. Okay, you can have blood in coughing and you can get hospitalized. So he guided. The patient went down and just few distance away from the hospital, he started smoking again. And I was just passing by, so I caught him and I was upstairs in the hospital. Okay, so you will come across non-compliant clients. Okay. What we do is to tell them the progress of disease. That is very essential, very essential. I'll give you steps and protocols for this. Let's say we are talking about diabetic and the patient is carefree, is not compliant, is not obeying what we are guiding him. So verbally tell him what is the progress. So let's say we are going on to the next title. Complications of diabetes. Thousands and thousands of patients that we see every month. Okay. All diabetics, if they are not controlling their sugar level, then number one, remember the target organ, everyone. Huh? These organs are at risk. And just like an astrologer, we have to tell to the patient that this can happen with you. Number one, we can say that in the future, your innermost layer of eyes, retina can get damaged and it will begin with blurred vision, unclear vision, and then finally it will go to blindness. That's number one. Number two, tell him that suddenly any part of your body can become weak. It will not be under your control. You can experience weakness and paralysis. Recently, I had a diabetic patient, absolutely non-compliant. It was such a coincidence. When he told me that it's been around 2 weeks, I have dropped my medicine. Reason? He's like, I'm too busy. I guided him that, see, you need to understand, you take so much work from your body, from your mind. So it is your responsibility to take care of the body first and work secondary. And amongst all complications, I just guided him that you can have paralysis of one half of the body. Or you never know that suddenly you can have a slurred speech, unclear speech. So it's like the way we are communicating, a slurred speech patient is like the tongue becomes very heavy, words become very unclear, and he's making an effort, but words are not yet clear. And you will not believe the fact that immediately somewhere around some 2 or 3 weeks after, he called me up, and what I could hear was slurred speech, facial paralysis. So we can tell them that your second organ at risk is brain. Either you can have a where you will have slurred speech, or